Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Everton, Bournemouth. Look, James just thrown me Bournemouth 0, Everton 1. Actually able to say it. Very much like we were with United last week.
Yeah.
It's the first time we've ever on this channel been able to say Bournemouth 0, Everton 1 in the Premier League. It's the first time anyone's ever been able to say those words. Because the first time we've ever won there in the Premier League. Since they come up, another big tick pad off the list of things to do. Not only do side missions, I've got to do that. I've got, twice in 8 days, Everton have done 2 very big side missions. Winning at Old Trafford last Monday and winning at Bournemouth last night. What a result.
Yeah, fantastic. Very much a side mission towards like the proper things. No, brilliant. Especially with everything that with all the issues of injuries and suspensions and everything else, and obviously nicely timed after Saturday as well. So absolutely brilliant performance and just nice to get another win, isn't it?
This is what we said though, with like thinking back to Moyes part 1 was like following a really poor performance when your head wants to explode. Generally speaking, Everton were able to bounce back a lot of times with, you always felt the next one at least will be a strong performance. But going into the game, I mean, another injury, Michael Keane, a lot of people have been made up with this season, out injured. David Moyes said he had actually been carrying a knock into the Newcastle game, which he shouldn't have played then, in my eyes. But, because on Saturday we probably would have been easier to cope with the lineup rather than tonight without losing other players. But Michael Keane was out, which meant Jake O'Brien went to centre back, and such is Everton's lack of midfield options at the moment. It meant that James Garner went back to right back, and Everton ended up with Tim Iroegbunam in a sitting role alongside Dewsbury Hall. And what were your thoughts when you seen the team? Because we know that we don't do well at Bournemouth. Everton's record's terrible there, as we've just saw. I think Everton had lost 6 of the last 8 against them, home and away. So looking at that, what were your thoughts? Was the worry about Iroegbunam in that defensive midfield role more so than Jake being centre back?
I'll be honest, I didn't really have. There wasn't many focused worries.
A
collective worry.
But both teams were without 5 players, so and that was a thing, wasn't it?
I mean, ultimately, I think it made the defence better. I mean, I'd rather have that back 4 than the back 4 we had on Saturday any day of the week.
But I guess the one thing, and I know people might necessarily agree with this, but O'Brien is not slow. He's quite quick running in straight lines. I think the problem with Jake sometimes is the turn. The turn, he doesn't turn quickly. Once he gets going, he's quick, and we saw that last night a few times where he was in a foot race. No one really outran him, and when it's Keane and Tarkowski, they're not quick, so therefore we are. And again, I have to reiterate this, because it's just nothing's been made of it. Everton haven't had their best defender all season, and it's December. It's just sort of like, he's injured. Anyway, whereas if it was, I keep saying it, but if it was a Van Dijk, or if it was a some Van der Ven at Spurs, or if it was someone, Arsenal, Gabriel or whatever, it's talked about as almost the first thing for that team every single week. And Branthwaite's just been pushed to the side.
No one actually cares about it.
Well, we do, and I do.
But sometimes I do think it's better when you have got a player who's out injured for a while to just put it in the background and not use it as a crutch. It's better to just face up.
Of course,
But that's why I was banging the drum the other week for Jake O'Brien to be starting games, and and because ultimately I think this is what happens, is that you end up getting forced into it. There's no way. I think the situation has been, I'm not saying it's 100% happened, but if you're playing the same team week in and week out in the Premier League, by the time you get to this stage of the season, you're going to start picking up injuries, especially when players are older. And I think Michael Keane, I mean, it all makes sense now, running back for the 3rd goal on Saturday. But this is what's going to happen, and I think a few weeks ago he had a chance to mix that up at centre-back. And he didn't, and that's fine, that's his prerogative. But it's come back at him. And he's been forced to make changes. But lo and behold, when he's forced to make changes, it's like Everton the mentality is good enough, and Moyes' mentality is that we'll just get on with it.
Yeah.
And we do. And as I said, I was quite happy with that back four. I think Jake O'Brien is a decent centre-back. Garner gives us so much more at right back. He opens up the game. He's a very intelligent,
and for himself,
but he's an intelligent footballer, and I think actually his skill set sometimes maybe gets lost at centre midfield. Yeah, even though he's done well there. But I think his skill set's more suited to that right back who like creeps up the pitch.
A few people messaged me last night saying James Garner's a right back, 100%. Because he's so good on the ball.
He knows, and we're better when he plays there. And you look at centre midfield and you think that's a more important place on the pitch, but maybe it isn't anymore. I mean, it is very important, but you know what I mean? It's maybe in terms of attacking now and being clever and keeping hold of the ball. Yeah. Possession is everything in football now, isn't it? You lose the ball, sometimes you don't get it back till the opposition have had a shot. And he helps us keep the ball. And it's such a marked difference, I think, when he plays right back to when Jay plays right back. But I'm very happy to see Jay playing centre back. So in terms of defence, I was all right.
You were okay.
But obviously, Tim Abunin going into centre midfield after what happened on Saturday was going to be a mental challenge for him. And obviously, Carlos Alcaraz. But the way it worked, it actually fitted together quite nicely. And bar obviously one rash tackle by Timmy Abunin, he had a very good game, and Dewsbury Hall just took ownership of that midfield, and Carlos Alcaraz was in and out, but he still got an assist.
The thing with in and out is he's the player who's most likely to create something for us. He's the one who drives Everton forward, and yes, some of his passes were misplaced, but some of other people's passes were misplaced after he'd done all the legwork.
I think the thing that annoyed me about Alcaraz last night though was the cheap 5-yard passes that he was giving, that he gave away in really like
good positions,
but also they helped them turn the game and that's what annoyed me.
Again, no, that is you could put that down to lack of game time. It's like he still should be making the right decisions, but then again, our two wide players give balls away, and I think in them attacking areas it happens. But I think one thing what I thought Everton did really well is start on the front foot. They've done it in the last 2 away games before last night, and he did it last night. I want them to do it at home. We started really positively. Saying that, Bournemouth had a couple of moments early on as well, Truffert and Semenyo, but James Garner sort of got to grips with that very early with Semenyo. We know he's a fantastic player, and Garner got to grips that much with him that they ended up playing him on the right hand side in the end. But after that, I thought we were in control. We just looked in total control. The thing that was sort of frustrating me was every time we'd get to the edge of the box, just the wrong ball or just not enough quality, and that let it down. And you do. I feel sorry for Barry in the middle, or if it was Beto, or if it was whoever, because we just don't create enough for them. There's very little, because a lot of the approach play is brilliant, but then the final ball, and that sort of was a reoccurring theme in that first 45 minutes. Really good approach play, get to the final third, not enough quality in the final third.
It's like the front three are playing as individuals, isn't it? Like they're all playing their own particular game, and you can understand Grealish and Njai, that's the kind of players they are. But like it does make you question what's going on in training, in terms of like, are they working on patterns of play? What is Barry's strengths? Because Barry very rarely looks like he's in positions to score goals, but he's in good positions in general play, and it just makes you wonder, like, if he's making runs, why isn't there an understanding? Why isn't that understanding like working in training? Because he's played a few on the bounce now, and you're still not seeing that play.
I think his approach play is excellent. I think he's got better and better, but although you have to say last night he did get himself in more opportunities, but
I just think that
you're right. The patterns of play you look at and go,
scoring goals is what he's got to do.
Yeah, no, he's got to do it.
It's like for the layman of the football fan, they're always going to judge a player on that. They're not going to judge a player on his knockdowns and his build-up play and all that kind of thing. They're going to judge on him scoring goals, and he hasn't. He had his first shot on target last night, and that's
good save.
And he was unlucky. The ball got away from him a little bit, and it just. But I look at the front three, last night. and Jai looked tired last night.
Yeah.
I must admit he looked a little bit tired, and Grealish looked a little bit off it as well at times. But you just want that front three to just work better, to link better, to get an understanding of what they need, what each other, you know, thrives
requires.
off. Yeah, and I think it just doesn't seem like it's there yet. I'm not seeing like too many through balls into Barry. No. Him, you know, he's making runs, but he's not. No one's giving it to him. I think there's just got to be a better understanding of what they're trying to do as a three, and obviously the person behind as well.
Is that trust? Is it trust?
I don't know.
From the other two players who maybe aren't convinced that he'll score at the moment, or is it a day delaying it, or his run's not good enough?
I don't know. I think.
Because if you put someone else there, you know, when you watch Everton, like you watch Everton, and in the past we've gone, God, if we had, like, it's in the past, it's been, oh, Dom was fit, or when Dom's been missing one-on-ones and we've been threading them in all the time and he's missing them, you're going, if we had a proper striker, we'd score tons of goals. But right now, when I'm watching us, neither striker's missing loads of chances.
Not missing chances.
Neither chances are getting them. And it's like, well, are they not getting them because they're not doing enough, or are we just not creating good quality chances? And I think it's probably, at the moment, probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, I don't think we're creating loads of chances, are we? We have a lot of build-up play, and then, you know, I think this is why I've heard in the last few days people having a go with Jack Grealish for like wasting opportunities and stuff like that. I don't get it myself.
No.
I think it's second phase. I think it's like he holds the ball up and he wants a runner either side of him to help him, and I just don't think that's there. But if you get that, either the left back or someone coming inside to help him out, then that's where you can create that second phase. I don't think we created many like second phase opportunities on last night. Didn't create any on Saturday, and it's how the centre forward reacts to it as well. But it just doesn't look like it's clicking. But I don't necessarily put the blame on Barry for that. I just think we've got two wide men who are. They've got, and Jai's obviously very much an individual, and Grealish likes to hold the ball up and wait for other people. He doesn't do those. I don't think he's got the pace to do those slalom runs anymore like he did at Villa, or, you know, early days in City. I think he's like, it's bedded in now. I think
that's okay though, because he did. I mean, he scores. Like, we'll go back. He scores the goal and creates Everton's best chance later on as well, but I do think it requires other people to run as well.
Everton had a flying left back. I honestly think we were linked with.
We went for we inquired about Trafford, didn't we? In January, he played for them last night. And he started well, but then he did disappear, as did Jimenez on the other side. I think Everton, our two wingers, for all the where they weren't amazing going forward, they did shut down both of their fullbacks after 15-20 minutes.
It was noticeable with their play how many times, certainly in the first half, the fullbacks were right on top. And I think, you know, even though they didn't do loads, that was like how it was going to come. And it's just like, if we just had a left back who got forward, it's just so alien to Mykolenko. It's like he has to be like cranked to get there. It's just not part of his makeup of ever being a defender, and I just don't think it ever will be.
He done that thing in the first half a few times though, in all fairness. He did sort of come and play inside when Grealish was quite high. But you're right. I just
think if we had a left back who just kept on going again and again and again.
We saw it with Luca Dean, didn't we? You know, Baines was that, wasn't he?
The space would be, and then you would just knock one down. And it's, to be fair as well, Mykolenko's his crossing's just. It's just it's here or there, is it? It's just like, you seen the one with Garner that he pulls back to in the second half. Like, took a little bit of time, picked the player out. The movement was good. Obviously, he put it over the bar, but that's what you're looking for.
But that should be happening.
Mykolenko just doesn't have that skill set. It's just not in his skill set, and now we're crying out for it. And you can understand why we're being linked with attacking left backs, because Moyes is looking at it going, I can unlock this team by getting a left back in, you know, or a right back, but certainly a left back to work with Jack Grealish, and it really will take us up another level.
Because there's loads of good elements there. Like I said, they kept getting. What they did really well was they got older at midfield really well. Irabunen was excellent. You know, he didn't have a good game Saturday. We know that, and he was off at half time, and that could have maybe challenged them, you know, confidence wise. But he come out last night, and you're right, he made one rash. It was a good turn, but it was a silly tackle. Gets booked. But I thought he was really disciplined after that, because sometimes he's loose with his passing or whatever, but he actually, you know, sat in there. Dewsbury all just ran the game. It was fabulous in that. So tidy on the ball and ratting around and nicking things. He always gave us a measure of control, and you know, we've hit the post off a corner. Tierno Barry's header, it's the post, and the keeper somehow smuggles it out. I don't know how it happened, but he somehow kept it out. We also hit the crossbar. Alex Scott flicked the one, just got there before Barry, and it loops and it's the bar. So we were a little bit unfortunate.
James Garner just shooting from corners.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Why not?
He should be doing it all the time. Basically,
although it did show having a screener, like we were saying yesterday, having a screen on corners does help.
Of course, yeah, but that's what he should be doing. And at the other end, Jordan Pickford, you know, we didn't have a great game at the weekend, but he was switched on enough so that the one moment he was called upon in the first half with Semenyo, when the referee, who was really, really poor all night, gave a free kick for a foul by Alcaraz, which was just literally a shoulder challenge. There was nothing in it. They put a ball in a box. Semenyo has a good shot, and Pickford's alive to make the stop. And that was really all they had until we thought they'd scored right on half time. And listen, in real time, it looked like he was onside or it was tight. When you seen it again, he was miles off, absolutely miles off. The only reason why he got the goal. But we got in at half time, and I was thinking, you know what, play like that again second half. Even if it ended 0-0, you'd go, well, we're playing well. Yeah. It's been a good response, and these are a good side, and all of that. But we come out for a second half and sort of got hold of it again, and I was thinking, I actually feel like we'll win this game. I don't know why. I just felt like we'd win it because we were on the front foot all the time, and that's a massive change, isn't it? We watched them in January at Bournemouth, and it was Sean Dyche's last game, and we were in a bad place, but it was that game. You knew they were going to win it right from the start, and it was just a matter of when, and it took a probably a similar time as Grealish's goal last night.
I think players know, don't they, with the control of the game, and I think the players knew there was something there for them. I think Dewsbury all just dominating the midfield. It felt like it was there. It was like, come on, we can win this. You know, it was like it was right there. You could see it, and it was. My worry was the subs. My worry was on the hour they'll bring on 3 or 4 subs or whatever, and that'll freshen them up. And how will we cope with it? Because it's been majority of the same players, but maybe because actually there was a few new players in the team, you know, that might have just given us that little bit of a freshness as well. But no, we just kept on going, and it was like there's definitely something here for us, even though we weren't making loads of chances. We were like, something might just drop for us, and obviously, you know, Tierno Barry gets a couple of chances, and before you know, eventually we get the goal, and it was just like, we can just take one of these chances. I've got a feeling we're going to keep a clean sheet. We had he was unlucky, Barry, with the chance. Like we nicked the ball, we play some lovely tight football in a dangerous place, but we get out with it. Ball's knocked forward, and it's touched off, isn't it? And he's running across, so he takes the ball away, but it's a heavy touch. And I actually thought the goalkeeper was going to get there before him, so I was surprised when he got there. And he does everything right, he thinks it, and when you watch it again, it hits Petrovic here, where if it's an inch higher, inch makes all the difference, it would have gone over him, and it'd have been in, you know, when it nicks, and that's just right now, things aren't going for him. But it's a good save. You could give the keeper credit because he comes out big. He did well to think it, and, you know, that goes in. It makes him grow, doesn't it? And everyone gets more confidence. But it was a good save, and then obviously he's had one where he skied it. We had the other one where it's a ball down, brings a ball down brilliantly and back heels it, and Alcaraz can't get it. He spins and hits it, and it gets blocked. And Charlie had another one where he attacked it, right foot, left foot, hit it, and the lad's got a block on it, and it's come away. So we were doing all the pressing. They did bring Evan Nielsen on and Tavernier come on, and you're thinking they will freshen it up, won't they? And Semenyo had one opportunity, which was a back pass in the end because we got bodies around it. But it did feel like
this is it feels like this is coming, because it was almost like
it got a bit basketball-y.
That was it, and I think maybe sometimes that's a risk. It is, of course, but I think that did help us, because we're not great at breaking down low blocks, are we? And it was a little bit in the transition, but I was getting more confident as the game went on. I was like you, was thinking, every time they sort of come up with a solution, we find the solution to that, to get the clearances in, and then obviously we do get the goal. And again, this is what we saw from Alcaraz, like a Crystal Palace last season, his debut, going to a tough ground, and he made his debut and led the charge that day, got an assist and a goal that day on his debut, and it reminded me a little bit of this last night, the way he broke. We've got the stills for it here, and here I've got him. He's picked the ball up and drove forward. Now, there's a simple pass off there to Jack Grealish, but obviously Tyler Adams is screening the first pass, and what Alcaraz does well is he takes it inside and then commits Adams to have to go towards him, and all he's trying to do is create that angle to give the ball to Grealish, which he does, and then the play opens up then for Jack and Everton to steam forward. Now, he gets here. This is where you want Jack Grealish, isn't it? Running the plays you've got. It's almost 2v2 there with Tieno Barry. And as he's approaching the box, he can either do what he does a lot of times, drag it across the defender onto his left side, or come back inside. Chooses to come back inside, and then obviously it's picked a shot. He slips. The lad sticks his foot out like Tarkovsky, and obviously the ball ends up wrong footing the keeper in the net, and obviously you can see Jack going, I mean, what an image that is, knee sliding. You can see Alcaraz to the right there, who then goes and crowd surfs and picks up a booking. Such is the elation. Charlie just dives in.
Fair play.
All I was obviously the light jumping up and down, that goes in. And then I just thought, Tieno Barry can't get a break, and that one is a slip. It hits the lad and goes in the other corner, but hey, we'll take it every day of the week. But something me and you've been saying for weeks about Jack Grealish, just shoot, because that can happen. And we had opportunities last night, edge of the box, first half, where it comes out and you're thinking, have a go. I think Alcaraz had one, didn't he, and he put over the bar, but it's worth a go, because you never know what happens, and he has that go, and luckily for us, it ends up in the back of their net.
It's all we've been saying, isn't it? Just have a pop. How many times has him, not only him, but other players got into areas like that, and it just opens up. One happened at our Old Trafford, and you're just thinking, have a crack, see what happens. You might bend it in top corner, it might take a ricochet and go, it might get us a corner, and we'll do nothing off that. But we
looked a bit more dangerous.
No, we did actually, with just the shoot tactic. Yeah, why not? Just have a shot, and you see, listen, that's the kind of goal that beats us half the time, isn't it? So it was nice to see that one go in, and it doesn't matter if it takes a deflection. It says Jack Grealish 1-0. That's all it says. That's all it says. 3 points. It doesn't matter.
It's in the net. And what I thought we did really well from that was we didn't just sit in either. They obviously come at us a little bit, and straight after it they had a good little break where he slides Semenyo and he cuts it across, and the lad gets a shot, and Tarkovsky, brilliant block in the box. But then we break, when it goes up the other end, and we had a chance to make it 2-0. We've got the stills for that as well, probably the best moments. After it, we haven't. The ball's already, Illiman Ndiaye slides it out to Grealish, which is his favourite position. But look at where Mykolenko is. Now, bear in mind, this has already been going on around their box, but Mykolenko's still deep. Now, you could go, well, he's just making sure we have what we keep what we've got, but I still think he should be making a run, just to give Grealish a different option. Grealish faces him up. We've got Ndiaye circled in the middle there, as you can see. He's going to release Ndiaye, so he plays it in. Now, Ndiaye's got himself that little bit of space now, because Dewsbury Hall, ironically, he's come across and dragged the defender with him. Now, he's got two options. Now, I'm thinking that's the one to the right. He's going to go for that corner. But obviously, there's a couple of lads there, so you're going to have to try to bend that high to get past the Bournemouth defenders, and he goes the other way. And the goalkeeper makes a save that he should make, really. He hits it well, and it's a good save. But that was a threat to Bournemouth that that's only 4 minutes after we scored the goal, that we are still going to go for this. We're not just going to have everyone behind the ball. The manager did make the subs as we scored, as we're celebrating. He took off Tierney Barry, he took off Alcaraz and put on Dwight McNeil and Beto, and they come. I mean, straight away you're seeing the difference between hold-up play between Beto and Barry. So what Beto, because he's not as, he can't pull the ball down the way Tierney doesn't hold it up. So what he's better doing is getting you in a battle. And there was a couple of times where it was knocked up to him. There was one he won a header and it broke, and I'm thinking, like, just drive off to their corner flag even, but just get us up the pitch, and he didn't. He turned back and he held it up okay in the end, and he knocked it back, but we should have been 40 yards higher up the pitch. And Dwight McNeil obviously come on, and his job was to be busy in that midfield, but both subs look knackered after 5 minutes, and sometimes that can happen because the game is they're just not up to that pace, but in general they dug in and did what they had to do for the team, didn't he? And Bournemouth didn't really have anything after. Once Tarkowski blocked that chance, that was it really, wasn't
I just thought we kept the ball really well. I thought we played in really intelligently in small areas. And again, that comes back to having good players. That comes back to James Garner being in a position where he can just pick up the ball and start being clear instead of just smashing it down the field. And that's the difference, isn't it? You just kept hold of the ball late on and got ourselves in some good areas. There's one, Beto picked the ball up on the left and he sort of ran across the box. I'm just thinking, you could have it go it, but we just kept hold of the ball. You know, when the game finished, we were down in their corner. That was the difference, wasn't it? It was really calm for 4 minutes. Thank you. It was just like really measured, and I never really felt like they were going to get anything because we were so controlled, and that's again better players in some of the positions, and it shows intelligent players. Well,
twice near the end, Jack Grealish has gone for a block tackle on the edge and won the ball on the edge of our box. Once he went down rolling around, the other one he wins it. Dewsbury Hall a couple of times, one really clever, gets his body in the way of the ball and goes down with the shove. But you can give them the ball in tight spaces and they'll keep it for a few seconds and then pick the right pass. And we recycled it all the way over, and then it come back to Dewsbury Hall, and then he got out with the ball. And it is having that extra quality in your team, which we've been starved of because of, once COVID happened and all of the other stuff happened, we were cutting, weren't we? And we'd lost all of that quality over the years. But having those two players, even in games where Jack Grealish has had far more attacking games than that, where he's been amazing. Last night, he put a real effort in, loads of hard work in again, and he ended up with a goal, the winning goal, and he ends up with an assist as well. But he'll have better games for Everton, and he's had, creative-wise, he has had better games, but you can't fault the lad's effort. For such a quality footballer who's been there, done it, he's not shy of running around and putting tackles in. Dewsbury Hall's been absolutely fantastic. What a signing he's been. Bar a couple of games where he dipped a little bit, he's been brilliant. And the last 3, man of the match in every game. Unbelievable performance again last night. You'll look sometimes at him and he'll have probably way better numbers than what he did last night, but he's sort of like the senior man in that midfield last night, and he just knitted everything together. He was everything that was good about what we did last night, wasn't he? Yeah, since the Fulham game, I think he's been brilliant. I think he dipped below City, Spurs. He was just Sunderland. I thought he let it. First half an hour was good, but I thought he let himself down. But then in the last 3 games, he showed how good a footballer he is. Just taking responsibility and being an all-round midfielder and not just being like in and out of the game. And in his position that he the last few games he's really got hold of it and really gives you hope that he in a way can be the player who replaces Idrissa Gana Gueye in a different way. But can be, and it's not on Tim Bournemouth or whoever else to fill that role. Obviously Shelley won't be him on Saturday, but to fill that role it'll be him just playing a little bit deeper, but you get more out of him. So I've got no issue with that. Let's have a look at his numbers. I thought he was brilliant last night. So there we go. Passing accuracy 81%, touches of the ball 64, passes into the final third 13, 6 ball recoveries, and 3 ground duels, 1, and obviously there's his heat map as well. He's all over the place. So again, that's £25 million. Yeah, he's a lovely footballer. We've seen in the last 3 games, we've seen the quality he's got. And Manchester United done a tremendous job in a 2 with 10, then scores the winning goal. With Saturday, it was really Everton's standout player, and then the technique for his goals incredible. And last night he's gone and done all the other bits and knitted everything together for us. And you're absolutely right, if we can get, improve the quality in that midfield to play with him, then, we will have some player on our hands as well. But he was outstanding last night. We'll just talk about Jack Grealish getting the match winner. Let's just have a look at his stats anyway from the game. 71% passing accuracy for Jack. 1 goal, of course. 1 chance created, that one for Iliman and Jai. But there you go, 6 ball recoveries and won 3 of his ground duels as well. And he's now got 6 goal involvements in 13 games this season for Everton. So a goal involvement every 2 games, which is exactly what we need.
And I've heard people say send them back in January.
Yeah, but them people aren't real, are they? Nonsense. Well, should we go and get Jack Harrison and Jesper Lindstrom back?
Get Jack Harrison back.
Yeah. Yeah. If you believe Jack Grealish is any issue to Everton, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you think Everton are. I don't know. But yeah, listen, hung on in the end for a brilliant win. Another clean sheet. Everton have now won 3 of the last 4 Premier League games, which is a brilliant run. Yeah. 2 other people, just briefly to talk about. Jake O'Brien, you mentioned before. Yeah. 8 out of 8 clearances, won 6 out of 6 headers, won. Passing accuracy 86%, created 2 chances in the game, and 1 ball recovery. But sat in there like he's been playing in the Premier League every week at centre back, and he's had a couple of games at centre back in the Premier League, and I thought he played really well.
Yeah, listen, he'll have tougher days.
Yeah,
he'll have tougher days. But I think for me, said it all season. He was our 3rd choice centre back, and to be not treated in a bad way, don't get me wrong, he hasn't been treated in a bad way. He's played nearly every game. But I do think it's right that he plays in his proper position. It is difficult because of the amount of players we've got, and we know Moyes would look at it and go, well, yeah, but I can put him right back and I can put Keane centre back, and I've got more senior players. But I do think at times you've got to look at the quality of the team and go, what's best for the quality of our team? And I do think Jake O'Brien is got the same attributes, if not more, than Michael Keane. Or maybe he's not a threat in the opposition box, but I do think to freshen it up, it's not a bad thing if he plays. You look at it at the weekend, and you could start him at centre back, Garner you could start maybe Patterson at right back, let's just say, and Garner goes. But depending on how the game goes, Jake O'Brien could go back at right back, and Michael Keane could come in at centre back at some point during the game. That gives you an option during the game, because obviously Saturday, another midfielder out, it makes sense in many ways to put Garner back in there and give Nathan Patterson maybe an hour if he's fit enough. Because he is a right, I know, but he is a right back, and if he's sitting on the,
see that happen.
But I can't. But I just don't know. Since if Michael Keane,
if Michael Keane's injured, then he's got no choice,
and that's the point, though, isn't it? If Michael Keane's injured, that's what you're going to have to do anyway. Yeah. So, and I do think at times when things get taken out of David Moyes' hands, it actually works out better. Not saying anything, just like when he has to, when he's put
almost got no choice.
Yeah, when he's got no choice, sometimes you find solutions to appear for David, and it's always been like that, by the way, always been like that. So there are different options, and I'm not saying Nathan Patterson, his time has come and gone, but there will be different solutions that are in there, that are available to us, rather than. But I mean, if Michael Keane's available, but I'd rather have, if Michael Keane's not fit, I don't want him playing, because I watched that on Saturday. Yeah. And it's not good. It's not pretty. So I'd rather like Jacob.
And it's not fair on him, because if he plays injured and then gives goals away or can't do the thing, then it reflects badly on him. And I know players always are injured, aren't they? They say that, don't they? They're never 100% fit. I get that, but it depends how injured Michael Keane is.
Mobility.
That's it. If you can't move freely against the team who can run again, then you risk Saturday happening all over again.
Yeah,
because that's their big strength.
You've got to be clever with it, haven't you? And I just think Jake did have a good game, and he's not some kid.
No.
You know, he's
international football.
He's in his mid-20s.
He's played in France.
Yeah, played in Europe. He's not a kid, and this might be an opportunity to play some. It might not. He might be straight back at right back at the weekend. But
if Keane's fit, he'll be back in because he'll want James Garner in midfield. It might have been different if Bournemouth was not, not suspended. But
no, it makes more sense in terms of like the all-round team if you've got senior players in there. But Jake was good last night. I don't even know where this thing came from that he wasn't very good. I don't even know where that come from. He played the second half against Palace at centre back and had a good game. You know, he's
played at Newcastle last game of the season. And we won 1-0, kept the clean sheet, and he was excellent. So for me, it's disappointing. And you wouldn't think you'd be saying this, but it obviously is disappointing that Bournemouth's not available, because it will mean James Garner does go back to centre midfield, and I just think when he's playing right back, certainly at home as well, because obviously when we're playing at home, we want to be on the attacking front, and I just think him at right back it really helps us. But let's see what happens. We'll see. Tim Bournemouth just talked about, and obviously didn't have a great game at the weekend, but last night passing 86%, one shot. 7 ball recoveries, 7 out of 7 tackles, 100% of its tackles.
Especially when you're on your yellow card.
Exactly, yeah.
There was one late on as well, wasn't it? It was in the box, so he had doubly had to time it well, and he did.
Really good tackle. I know I said in me thing he was really disciplined. Someone was like, disciplined, he got booked. Like, he got booked in the first half and then was disciplined.
Seen a dresser do that enough times.
Yeah. Discipline.
But he is that's the only thing with him, isn't it? It is, how do you legislate for that, though? How do you legislate for what happened on Saturday and then what he did last night? Like, do you know what I mean? What do you say to a player? Like,
because if he'd played, now, okay, he was up against a better midfield on Saturday, but it wasn't like they were rinsing him all the time. It was just like he wasn't at the level on Saturday. But last night he was. Now I don't know whether the 45 minutes on Saturday done him really good to be at the level last night. I don't know, but we've seen that from him. We've seen him put some really good performances in and then not follow it up. So he's going to have to try to drag himself to that level where when David Moyes picks him, you go, I know what he's going to give us. And mostly he is level.
Maybe it is down to the fact that, like, in a game like that last night, you have to be a lot more measured, a lot more controlled in the way you play. You're playing away from home.
But maybe he's going to have to play like that every time he plays then.
And maybe, there might be other things as well. The fact that, Dewsbury Hall being next to him makes his role a little bit different. So he's not being asked to
charge around.
Being asked to, like, get somewhere that he's just not comfortable doing.
Who knows?
It's one of those things. He's a young player, and again, people on Saturday, he's finished. I was like, finished playing in 3 days. And he's done really well. He's just got to find some kind of consistency.
That's what it is. That's the key word. It's consistency. You can look at him, and he's got a lot of really good attributes. His touch is good. He's strong. He's brilliant at slide tackling. He's absolutely.
Do you know what, though? I heard some mad stat last night. I can't remember it exactly, but he's been booked 5 times for something like 7 tackles. And that lad last night, the left back.
Oh, Adley, the midfielder.
Yes,
6 or 7. He dragged 2 of our players back by the shirt.
He made 3 fouls in the first 15 minutes.
And referee didn't say a word to him.
Yeah.
Say a word.
Like, so how'd you get 5 bookings for 7? I mean, it's like Dewsbury Hall, isn't it?
Yeah.
Has he been booked since he got suspended?
Don't think so.
It's mad.
Don't think so.
And yet, like early on the season,
because they booked him for twice, which is
blah blah blah. It's like, it's mad, isn't it?
Referees are really bad. So really good for him at Bournemouth. He's got it's a pity now that he can't follow it up with another good performance, isn't it? Like I said before, Everton won 3 out of 4, 3 points off a Champions League place. Why not say it? Since David Moyes come back, only Arsenal have took more away points than Everton. Everton have won 27 points away from us, won 8 away games.
Sneaked up on us, didn't they? Which
is good, isn't it? Yeah. So, we can get the form right at home properly. Then who knows, we could have I
think maybe at home we just have to be just a little bit more
cautious.
Maybe just be a little bit slower, if we could be any slower, but first 15 minutes of games, just
feel it out
a little bit and not leave ourselves just exposed a little bit.
Don't give corners away.
That could be a key thing.
Don't give corners away, because if you go back to the game, the 2 games we've lost at home.
Also, does it feel like our pitch is massive compared to everybody else's?
That is big, isn't it?
No, it just feels massive though. It just feels like, and the lack of maybe pace in our teams, other people profit from it. But listen, we're you know, points wise, we're in a really good place. David Moyes even said last night that maybe if we win one more soon, he'll feel like they're going forward and doesn't have to look over his shoulder.
No, but it's like that, isn't it? Because you look, regardless of, everyone will be like that. So the quicker you get to a level where you think that doesn't concern us, you can be freer and you can go after the different thing. Whereas if all you're hearing I mean, that thing I put in the group last night, that was out there like when Everton got to 21 points and everyone's February and you're like, well, no wonder we're like that all the time, because you're worrying, aren't you? Whereas if Everton could beat Forest on Saturday, and it's a tough game, and it's worse because Simply U's available, so hopefully they'll pick up a couple of suspensions and get a couple of slight injuries tonight that take them out the game at the weekend. But if Everton could beat them, then the Chelsea-Arsenal game, you're playing freer. It's almost like, right, let's see what we can get out of these two. You know, before you're back with Burnley and Forest, which are 2 games you'd be going after, of course. So, get the wins, build, because you don't drop then. You know, you're looking now, it's bunched. Yeah. But once you get to about 14th, there's a big gap again then. And that gap's really difficult for those teams below it to close it. So that's what we've got to do. We've got to make sure we keep building.
And also we get into January, then if that target is there, like if we're 9th right now, I mean, that might be different tonight.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
But if we're in, I'm not saying if you get to January and the manager then goes, well, if we can get quality in, you know, Europe last season, like 8th and 9th. So, it's not. I'm not saying we're a European team. I'm just saying if we were to look at it and go, you know what, give me a couple more players, just give me a couple, freshen the squad up a little bit, and we can be better second half of the season than we have first half of the season. Then you are pushing on for those places, because it is so bunched up. And why not? Why not look at it like that? Why not look at it and think, get me a couple in, and we've built so far this season. Centre forward is edging closer, but get me another one, please. And who knows? Do you know what I mean? Rather than just going, we're doing all right. We're all right. We'll if we double our points tally, we'll be fine. You just think, no, let's not double our points tally. Let's get better our first half points tally and get into positions where you're like, ooh, maybe there is a chance. Maybe there's an outside chance. You know, if England get the 5 places and one of the teams win the Europa League, whatever it is, then who knows? Well,
this is the thing, though, isn't it? It is there. It's there for us to go after. Whether we get there or not is a different thing, but to be able to actually chase something for a change.
And also you've got
something
the FA
that's
Cup.
Positive. You've got the cup.
You've got the FA Cup. That if Everton are go into the new year and they have got a couple of new players, and you're like, we're quite relaxed about the league. The leagues, we're doing all right. The FA Cup, then we don't have the same thing we had with the League Cup. We're like, let's throw all our eggs in one basket. Who knows? You know what I mean? I know we're sitting here. We wouldn't have been saying this Monday. Obviously, the world's a different place Monday than it is today.
Of course, but Friday we were saying it.
Yeah, so
because the world was different on Friday than it was on Saturday night. So but the good thing is we've followed it up, haven't we? Yeah. Okay, and then like I said the other day, Saturday everybody had an off day, bar Dewsbury Hall, which doesn't happen very often. Everybody did, and we caught Newcastle on a really good day, so it doubly compounded it, didn't it? We've got to make sure this Saturday it doesn't happen. This Saturday we battle and scrap, and who cares how we get the win? We just get the win, and then we'll see. We'll see what else follows that. So let's have a look at the stats from last night before we finish. Bournemouth 0, Everton 1. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Yes, Bournemouth 0, Everton 1. 5 shots from Bournemouth, 13 from Everton. 2 on target for the Cherries, 3 on target for the Toffees. See what I did there. 0.5 XG to 1.44 on Bournemouth. 55% of the possession. That's still a little bit more possession than...
Maybe we have to start heightening our levels a little bit now.
Okay, let's do that then, because the last couple of games we have. But a great result for Everton last night, so enjoy it. I think Saturday showed us just enjoy the wins, and let's not look too far ahead to Saturday. Let's enjoy these next few days being unbelievable Toffees, isn't it? That's the way you got to look at it. 3 clean sheets in 4 as well. So the key is, at the moment, keep a clean sheet.
That's it, yeah.
So that's what we've got to do.
Gives us a chance.
There you go. We're carrying on now on Premier, going through your comments, and we'll have a chat over there. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. See you later.